My next guest is a profit coach. She helps service-based business owners make a profit in their business using her crush formula. She works with clients to renovate their business so it is simple, profitable, and sustainable, regardless of what else is going on in their life. Please welcome Samantha Varner. Welcome to the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I'm your host, Anna Patricia Bourgeois, certified business coach. I am here to help you up-level, generate consistent wealth, increase your confidence, attract dream clients, and master your mindset so that you can fully own your power and achieve next-level results in your online business and beyond. Every week, a powerful conversation will take place with amazing guests, or I'll share from my experience to help inspire you to start and scale the business of your dreams while being powerfully you. The time has come to stop playing small, stop hiding, and stop waiting. Now is the perfect time for you to passionately pursue your heart's desire as the powerful leader you were born to be. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Powerful Female Leaders Podcast. I am here today with Samantha Varner. Hey, Sam.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. I'm so excited to have you on the show.
Yeah, me too. I'm thrilled to be here.
Yes, awesome. So I know you are a profit coach. Can you tell us more about what that entails?
Absolutely. Yeah, I am a profit coach. And so, what I believe that to mean, what I've made it mean in my business, is that I work with entrepreneurs with a focus on profit. So,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that all of the actions they're taking are actually creating a ROI for them. So,
Mm-hmm.
not as much, there's a huge component of mindset and all sorts of other pieces that go into it, but with an eye on profitability at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the most important for sure.
It is. It's critical, right? Otherwise it's just a hobby, which is no
Yeah,
good.
exactly. So I know you have a crush formula. Can you
hmm
walk us through what that formula is?
Absolutely. Yeah. It is the 5 areas of business that I feel like if you get
Mm-hmm.
them really dialed in and you get them really, really crisp, then
Mm-hmm.
you're being in a great position for profit. So, the first piece of that is the C, which is the core of your business.
Mm.
So, we talk about the mission, the vision, the values that you're making all of your decisions through in order to build the business you're envisioning, along with the life that you want to be living and not just
Mm.
scramble, right? We as
Yeah.
entrepreneurs know you can do a lot of scramble and it's painful and it's not a very good way to run a business long term.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk all about that in the core space. And then in the R, it's revenue. So it's really diving into those numbers in your business, understanding, getting really comfortable with all of the information around the numbers, whether it's your pricing, whether it's your profit and loss statement, whether it's just cash flow and being able to predict what you're expecting financially, and then deciding what to
Mm.
do with that money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we talk about those two. Then we go to utility, which is the thing that I think most clients are surprised by. But I truly believe that to grow and scale your business, especially when you're approaching that 6 figures and beyond,
Mm-hmm.
you need to make sure you have some standard operating procedures. You need to have some automation,
Mm.
right? So,
Yeah.
learning how to do that, how to delegate, who to delegate to can be really critical because that can go horribly awry if you do that wrong.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so those are the first 3. And then from there, we dive really deeply into sales. So, all of the pieces of your sales game, making sure that your closing ratio is getting better, making sure that you're really comfortable selling your services, making sure that you understand the mindset of your clients as you're trying to sell to them in a way that is not sleazy and feels like a conversation with a human, since that is indeed what you're doing. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
It ends up being so fun, right? Because it's just little
Exactly.
tweaks that make massive shifts in business. It's not
Mm.
burn it all down and start again. That's never the way that I go about doing my profit coaching. And then the last piece of the crush formula is the headspace. So where is your head in all of this? Where is your brain? And how impactful is that on the results you're getting? And how can you start to make shifts in your mindset in every piece of your business, which will directly correlate to the profitable results that you get?
Oh my gosh, like this is so good. So core, revenue, utility, sales, and like mindset,
Yep.
headspace.
Yep.
That's amazing. And which one of these areas would you say like most of your clients fall short on, and why is that like that way? Or like can you give us more insight into like what is that area?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think if I had to choose just one area, I think it's probably the mindset piece. It's probably headspace because
Mhm.
realistically, that touches each one of those other components, right?
Mm.
So when you're looking at imposter syndrome or when you're looking at just feeling like you're not capable of doing what you are wanting to do or you're not sold on your own offer, it makes it very hard for you to be expert at sales, right? Your closing ratio
Mm.
won't be there. You won't be confident when you say your pricing. All those pieces just massively impact the underlying bit of the business. So I think probably most people come to me from a I want tactics and a roadmap on how to build my business more profitably.
Mm.
And then I say to them, like, yeah, for sure. We're going to do that piece for sure because you need tactics, you need actual work within your business, but you need to be able to manage how you feel about it and what your brain's telling you in a really concrete way
Mm.
to make those tactics effective. Otherwise, we're just taking busy action, which is
Yes.
pointless.
Yes. Ah, I love that so much. So would you say the mindset comes first?
I think the mindset comes always.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it gets peppered in pretty much in every coaching session that I do with clients over that 6-month term. I
Mhm.
think for the vast majority, if you ask the clients, I think they would say, yeah, there's always mindset in there. It's always, it's like part of the stew, right? It's in
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, this is so good. And I mean, it's so eye-opening for a lot of people. Like maybe they think they have like a strategy issue or a sell issue, but really it all boils down to their headspace and what they're telling themselves.
absolutely. Because pretty much I'm a big believer in any tactic that you have, unless it's
Mhm.
completely insane, right? But any tactic that you've seen somewhere else or somebody else is using and implementing, any of them work. There is not a secret sauce that if you do it exactly this way, you'll make money. It is about how you approach the way you do it in your business and how you do it with consistency and over again and growing your skills along with your business.
Mm. Yes, so important for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's critical. It is absolutely critical. And it's small things, right? It doesn't have to be. Sometimes I get clients that get intimidated by the concept of hiring a business coach. They feel like they're maybe not ready or they're just nervous. They haven't done it before.
Mm.
And the reality is, I I'm always there as a support system and as a cheerleader and as somebody who's going to push you, right? There's
Mm.
that combination is really, really critical. So
Mhm.
it makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure. It makes all the difference to have that support.
Hmm.
I've always had like a coach or a mentor in my
So good.
corner. Yeah, for sure. So I follow you on Instagram. I love everything. I love your podcast. Like it's so
Oh,
amazing.
thank
Can you
you.
tell me more about like the name of it? Like I really love it.
She needs grit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it came to me, I don't know how long ago it was now. Maybe 2 years ago, I had started doing I used
Mhm.
to do car chats. So I used to take members of my group, of my Facebook group,
Mhm.
and I would do car chats in my dirty minivan because I'm a mom of four and I basically live in my dirty minivan.
Wow.
Yep. And so I used to invite the people that were local into my van and we would set up the camera on the dashboard and do the live there. And then that kind of just transformed itself into, okay, well then how do I do this in a podcast form? I always wanted to have a podcast.
Mm.
And I think in business, the number one thing that you need above and beyond everything else, training, certifications, all that stuff, which are maybe you need it, maybe you don't. You need grit. You need to be willing to stick it out long
Mm.
enough to see the results.
Mhm.
right? You just
Yeah.
can't give up. It has to be, your timeline has to be till it works, not till Tuesday.
Oh, I love this so much. Yes, like we put so much pressure on ourselves, to hit
Yeah.
XYZ goal like at this specific date, or we see
Hmm.
like everyone online celebrating their massive wins every end of the month, and we're just like, what the hell? So I just
Hmm.
love it so much how you put it out so beautifully, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's important to realize that for as many of those cheerleader stories we see online of people
Mhm.
making massive amounts of money in a short term,
Mhm.
there's as many stories of the people who are like, I'm not putting my hand up to say I didn't hit my goal this month. That seems like a terrible Instagram
Mm.
post, right? Like most people aren't going to put it out there to say, this is harder than I thought. I'm not exactly sure how I'm doing. So I think it's
Hmm.
really important for all of us to remember that when we're looking at the results and feeling like, ooh, I really wish I was already there. That might only be
Mm.
4 weeks away for you.
Mm. Oh, I love this perspective shift so much.
Good, good. I'm hoping your listeners are the same, right? I
Yeah.
hope that they're feeling like, oh, that feels a little bit lighter.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I love that so much. And I also know you normalize the struggle too. Like I saw
Hmm.
one of your posts where you say like it's totally normal like to feel the frustration and the worries, and like I love that so much about you, and it says so much about who you are as a leader as well. So yeah, thank you so much for normalizing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think it's absolutely critical.
Mhm.
It is too hard to go this as an entrepreneur. You're doing it mostly solo, right? Especially
Yeah.
at the beginning. And if it does feel like everywhere you look, you're surrounded by people that are doing it with ease and without stress and no frustration, and they're doing it within the confines of their very messy lives, right? We all have
Mhm.
stuff that isn't just business. We all have the rest of the stuff.
Mm.
And I think just admitting that sometimes it's hard and it's
Mhm.
okay to have it be hard.
Yeah, for sure. Like we all go through it. Whether we admit it or not.
Absolutely. We all do. Yep. And I'm a big believer in just put it out there because somebody out there is sitting there feeling bad for it.
Yeah.
And that's BS. Let's not do that. Let's just all call it out and be like, hey, it took me a really long time to do this thing, or I finally figured out how to work my email marketing, or whatever it is that's a struggle.
Mhm.
But then also being willing
Mhm.
to put your hand up and ask for help when you do need help. Because I think
Yes.
there's a lot of DIY out there and there's a lot of value you gain by doing things DIY. But there's also a
Mhm.
time and a place for like, how much faster can I do this if somebody just shows me the 3 steps I don't get?
Yes. There's such a difference for sure.
Hmm. It's a lot less stress at the end of the day, generally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Um, so besides like the mindset and the grit,
Hmm.
is there anything else that was truly key or fundamental in you achieving the success that you have today?
Yeah, I think primarily it's grit and tenacity. I think it's also been, I do have 4 kids. I am balancing. They're now a little bit bigger. My oldest is
Mhm.
14 and my youngest is 8. So they're,
Mhm.
they're bigger. They can make their own peanut butter toast now. Um, but just being willing to be where I was, right? So
Mm.
when I started, my youngest 2 were still in preschool and I was doing it
Wow.
in, yeah, it was like the nooks and crannies of what time I had. Um,
Mhm.
I would be there for preschool pickup listening to podcasts and getting really inspired and trying to figure out how I could implement some of the strategies I was learning in my own business growth. And
Mhm.
just feeling like it doesn't have to be 8 hours of solid, uninterrupted time in an office to be very successful.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. Like we have this image of how it's supposed to look like, for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah. That old school corporate job image, right?
Yeah.
So the sooner we ditch the idea that we're trying to create ourselves a job,
Mm.
right? And understanding that we're creating ourselves a business. And by doing that, you get to make it look however you want,
Mhm.
right? You can work 4 hours a day and you can balance all the rest of your life. You can work out. You can take your kids to where they need to go. You can, I don't know, on Friday, I'm going to a field trip for my youngest and I'm taking the whole day and I'm the boss. That's the whole point of being an entrepreneur is having that option.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that reminder. A lot of
Yeah.
people need to hear it.
Yeah, I see so often that people they start a business and they are working more hours than they did in the job that they hated, and
Mm-hmm.
they're making less money because they're not good at the job that they've created just yet, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But what? That's the complete opposite. You said you wanted time freedom and you wanted money flexibility and you wanted to earn more and you thought you could do it better on your own. And all of a sudden you dig yourself a corporate job. Don't do that.
Exactly. Don't do that. Don't fall into the
Don't
trap.
do that. Don't do that. If you have friends that are doing that, then tell them to stop it immediately. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. You don't have to work yourself into an early grave to make money in business. That is complete
Mm.
BS.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you so much for saying that.
You're welcome. We need to repeat that a lot. I think everybody needs to hear that, right? Every networking event you go to, every
Yes.
business owner you see, you need to be like, are you working this much? Yeah, you don't have to do that. Stop it.
I love it so much. So I ask this to everyone who comes on the podcast, and I'm curious to know your take on it.
Mm-hmm.
What does being a powerful leader mean to you?
A powerful leader, I think, is some of the things that we've been talking about. I think being
Mm-hmm.
willing to be vulnerable, to not sit at the top of the hill and pretend to know everything. And
Mm.
like there's nothing more that they can learn. They're kind of infallible at that point. I don't think that that is a leader. I think that's a terrible representation. I think
Mm.
a leader is somebody who shows you the path willingly and with so much in such a service based feeling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to make it the best, the easiest, um the most accessible to you. That's a leader. A leader is somebody who's looking to grow the people around them, and kind of the concept of all the boats rise, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
harbor. That's the way I think a leader, especially a powerful leader, needs to
Mm-hmm.
be. And I think we need more of that.
Oh, I love that. This is so good. You're amazing.
Thank you. I like this podcast. I'll come back here all the time. Thank you, Anna. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So, since you're so amazing, I
Mm-hmm.
want you to share with us a piece of wisdom that you maybe learned as you went along your journey, or a mentor shared with you, like something that really stuck up for you.
I think one thing that recently one of my mentors from a long time ago actually mentioned is she said that you need support through implementing new change in your business, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not so much that the tactics are hard, right? They're not that
Mm-hmm.
hard, but the change that happens within ourselves is the hard piece, and that's where you need the
Mm.
support. So I think that's something to remember, that change is hard in your business. It's not necessarily a new marketing strategy that's hard. It's you
Mm.
being that person who now markets in that way.
Yeah, that's such a good point. It's so much about like the identity and how you perceive yourself.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Awesome. So, do you know, like, have any last piece of wisdom or anything else you would like to share with the audience today?
I think just really encouraging everybody who's listening, no matter what the point is at your business or what your
Mm-hmm.
level of frustration or happiness is with your business, know that it takes very little to shift into wherever you're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
So keep going.
Yes.
Don't give up, stay gritty, and ask for help if you need help, and don't feel embarrassed about that or bad about something that you don't yet know. That's okay. You don't know it yet, and other people do, and they can help you learn. So
Yes.
don't be scared to ask for help.
Yes, absolutely. Find your tribe, like do
Mm-hmm.
whatever you got to do to surround
Yeah.
yourself with people who are like-minded and have the same goals and ambitions as you do.
Yeah,
Um
exactly. Exactly.
yeah, so important. So, where can people go to connect with you further online?
Probably the best place is on Instagram, and I am at shecollective.biz or biz
Mhm.
if you're in Canada. And so Instagram's probably the best. And if not, you can follow my podcast on She Needs Grit. It is on every platform that you listen to podcasts. You can find me there.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much again for your time today, Sam. You are amazing, and I wish you nothing but more and more success.
Excellent. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this a ton.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Powerful Female Leaders podcast. If you love this episode, make sure to spread the message, leave a review, and subscribe. I would forever be grateful for you. I also want to hear from you, and I want to know your feedback and your questions for future episodes. So don't be shy, say hi, and send me a message at Powerful Female Leaders Podcast on Instagram. Until then, I'll see you on the next episode.